Welcome to Career Cruise by Networking in Hills. Career Cruise is a place where we talk about all things careers, all things job experiences, all things growth, all things pivoting, all things even the end of careers and the in-betweens, the very messy in-betweens, the very exciting in-betweens, the journey from start to finish. My name is Violet Wambua. I'm your host and I'm very excited to have you here. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today. Today we'll talk about work ethic and integrity, but I'd like to share my own stories because yes, I joined the workforce, I think at 19. I remember at the time I was a radio presenter at a church radio station. I think they were AM based, not FM. But yeah, that was my job at 19. And I think the pay at the time was, 9,000 bob a month. Yeah. So I felt very rich being given 9,000 bob at the end of the month. My experience with that job is that first of all, you had to go to work very early. As much as I did try to go early, I still missed the morning devotion part of it because it's a church radio station. So everything starts with God, devotion and prayers, etc. And I sort of used to miss that. And yet I'm arriving at 7:30 a.m., but I'm missing that devotion part. So I noticed that, it's not being taken very, very well. So I started to try and come in a bit earlier. Where we're living was a bit far from the station, so that meant then I'm working backwards to go earlier and earlier and earlier, and I think I made a few of them. But what I think I did as a way of compensating for I used to arrive literally at the tail end of the devotion, and everybody is now dispersed and go and have a good day with the Lord, work hard, work as if you're working for God and not man, which is all good, I'd say, you know what, I'm going to work very hard. So I'd go in, and deliver my show very well, follow all the cues, follow all the instructions, and bring in all the good energy to the job. And somehow that, sort of made me not get away with not arriving for devotion, but sort of like it made it easier for me to navigate that space. I enjoyed that space so much. I enjoyed, sharing different stories via radio. Of course, it's in a studio audience. In studio and you have no audience. So you're basically just talking to the mic by yourself. And, it's just you and your thoughts and the script that you've been given by the producer. But I also did... realize that I was actually getting commended for actually doing a good job, for, sticking to script. And even when I want to change anything, just asking for advice and incorporating other people's, knowledge, etc. into the job. But more than that, just even being able to research and just send myself, out of the norm to sort of incorporate better energy into it. Of course, I wasn't a trained caster or anything. So, this was just one of those things where the regular person had taken a maternity leave. I'm not so sure what had happened, but there was that vacuum and I'm the one who was filling it for a space of 4 months, which I really enjoyed. It taught me to, wake up early. It taught me to, be on time. It taught me to just do my job very well and, push myself harder and not just get away with bare minimum, which I find that a lot of people like to sort of like get away with bare minimum and of course maximum reward, which is definitely the culture of the day today. But you sort of realize that when you're pushing to just do bare minimum, there's a lot of opportunity you miss out on to even learn and grow yourself. Because if you're just doing bare minimum, then that means your brain is not on what's next mode. Your brain is not on how can you do this better mode. You're basically just maintaining the thing so it doesn't die. It's almost like that thing they say, just feed them enough so they don't die, but don't strengthen them because they'll turn on you or something of the sort. I really can't tell where bare minimum in terms of our jobs came from. But I also know that there's, I would be a hypocrite to pretend that it doesn't come from even compensation issues. But what I can say for anybody, whatever they're doing and whatever you're doing. Yes, you might find yourself in a situation where you're not well appreciated or well compensated for all the efforts that you make. You're coming out there and giving your all, and you're really, really, going above and beyond, and you're really, being creative, just bringing so much into the role that you're doing, bringing so much into the business, especially if you're a business person, that bare minimum doesn't cut it in business, in biashara. And so you feel like, what's the point? But really the point is that that energy, that knowledge is not wasted. It stays in your vault. This is your treasure trove. That's where it all goes. And when you push yourself, when you're reaching for, the best outputs and best efforts that you can put in your work, in your business, you realize that, the fruits may not be there right now, but nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. That experience is not wasted. That energy is not wasted. You may feel like it's wasted here. These guys are paying me peanuts for what, But refining your craft, getting better at your craft, getting better at the job, at the role is not wasted, because I expect, and we all expect, that we're not stuck in one place for 25 years. We're human beings, you're not born a cat and so you're a cat forever. You're a human being, so you will go into other places, you go into other roles, and that effort, that work ethic that you refined or that you got grounded in will serve you even as you keep on growing in your career, you keep on growing your business, and even maybe expanding your business. The work ethic will really, really come to pay off. When it comes to integrity, there's obviously, for a lot of people, they find themselves in situations where, when you think of integrity, we think, oh, but I'm not stealing money from the company. I'm not defrauding anyone. But that thing of coming in just after time, you robbed your employer of, a few minutes or an hour. And that thing of always cutting and finding excuses to leave your desk to go and do other things that are not necessarily work related. And especially when it's literally like being an you're absconding the role that you're hired for. So there could be many reasons for that. It's so easy to justify, so easy to find a reason why, and even just say, well, I deserve it, or I'm taking it. And while the excuses are plenty, it does nothing to build on your integrity, because that cutting, it cuts across, it cuts across for you. And I'm not just talking about the organization that you're in, but for you as an individual. Once you train your brain to cut corners, whether it's on time, whether it's on productivity, whether it's on output, whether it's on, whatever it is you're doing and you're cutting corners, it affects you first. You might think, it's for the employer or for your teammates, for the department, whatever, but it really does, it does something for you that is not positive. You might not see it in the short term, but you'll see it in the long term. So for myself, I know I've been in situations where I've not given my all in terms of time to my employer, just because I've gotten frustrated here and there. And then I decide, well, they're not going to increase my salary. Well, they're not going to, reduce my hours. So why not sort of like reward myself in that way? So that lack of integrity also makes you lose your mojo for the job. It makes you not work as hard as you would have worked. It makes you not push yourself to attain your goals as quickly as you would have. And yeah, that just chips at you. And then when you do performance reviews, you're complaining that you're being not very well reviewed or not very well taken. Of course, in some cases, people are reviewed unfairly, but for you yourself, you would know that I don't deserve that, high review. Maybe I don't deserve a bonus at all, if anything. And this career cruise is not a place to, defend poor employers and people with poor treatment of their employees. It's a place to just encourage you as an employee, to encourage you as a business owner to really put in your all. And as a business owner, the part of integrity is also just honoring your part of a contract. Everybody should just honor their part of the contract. For you, that this is your business. Honor the contract to yourself. Like every day, do an effort, put in an activity that pushes the business forward. If you're working for yourself, you know that you're answering to no one, and you're your own boss babe, or you're just your own boss, and it's amazing to be your own boss. But when the money is not coming in, it's not funny when you're your own boss, because you have no one to question. So make your own charter of agreement with yourself, make your own plan, and follow through, because that's integrity. Means you're incorporating discipline into every aspect of your life, even if you're a solopreneur, even if you're a big company owner, even if you are an employee, even if you are a doctor, a nurse, whatever you're doing as a student also, just that discipline, that integrity, that work ethic. You pour all your energy into your studies, pour your energy into your business, grow yourself, read if you have to, research if you have to, partner with others if you have to, collaborate with others if you have to, because then at the end of the day, you're building something, you're building yourself, you're building your brand, you're building, your empire, and these things are not done in a day, obviously, and the journey is not necessarily colorful, or sometimes it can be a drudgery. You can feel so tired, so bored, even almost resentful, like, I'm studying, the years are not ending, are we not finishing school already? And that's for the student, whether you're a high school student, whether you're a college student, or doing a master's, or even your short course, whatever it is. Everything, when it starts, you're excited about it, but then in between you're like, I want to hang up my boots and just leave this alone. But push through. The work ethic makes you push through. The work ethic makes you go to the library and do your assignments, finish your projects. The work ethic is what makes the business owner, especially the solopreneur who has nobody to answer to, put their things in order, do their bookkeeping, keep their records properly, do their marketing efforts, do their sales, because again, sales is the lifeblood of any business. The work ethic and the integrity is what makes people who are in jobs clock in at the time they're supposed to clock in, put in the energy and the effort they're supposed to put in, and literally reach their KPIs. KPI, for those who don't know, is key performance indices. So then when you check what you're doing, you're able to say, yes, I'm on track with what I need to be doing. And all that comes into work ethic and integrity. And of course, discipline is the ribbon, or rather the zipper that ties it all together. Without discipline, really, even the best laid plans will not work out. Without discipline, we are not moving from point A to B. Without discipline, we are not achieving our desires. No matter how many fantasies we have, no matter how many goals we set, no matter how many plans we put together, without discipline, none of that is happening. And I just urge for all of you to embrace and espouse a good work ethic, espouse integrity, high integrity, even in the small things, because sometimes we imagine that integrity is for the big things, the situations where, but I have not embezzled 2 billion, for example. But when you think about it, it's not about stealing or defrauding others. Even you're defrauding yourself when you lack discipline, when you lack integrity. When we say, I know there's a running group. I'm not part of that running group. Maybe I should join them. But I know there's a running group where they say every day they have goals every month. And so in a particular month, and I heard about it, they had set every day, everybody runs 5 kilometers. Whether it's raining, whether it's shining, whether it's a cold day or a bright day, it doesn't matter. Everybody does a 5 kilometers. Whether you do them in the morning or the evening or during the day, it doesn't matter. Clock your 5 kilometers. So strict to the point that if you miss your 5 kilometers per day, the quota that I've actually said is for everybody, you're out, So I think it's also important to just be strict with ourselves. I mean, it's very easy to be strict with others and to really put, hectic rules for others and give them all this, standards that they need to attain, but we hardly do that for ourselves for whatever reason. So I feel like we should actually be strict with ourselves and to know that, hey, you tell yourself, I'm going to read 20 pages, of a book to every single day, and make sure that that is achieved, and you are your own strict mom, you're your own strict parent, you're your own strict guardian, you're your own prefect, so to speak. So when you're strict with yourself, you find that then embracing a work ethic, embracing high integrity becomes part of you. It becomes part of your lifestyle, or other career choices, and everything you do, when people are thinking about you, for example, and I know we don't do things for other people, but we live in community with other people, we work in community with other people. Even if you work remotely, you are still working in community with other people, because someone in Venezuela is expecting you to do something for them, and you're in Nairobi, for example. What keeps them hiring you? What keeps them keeping you on their team, is because you have good work ethic and high integrity. Without that, then they'll be like, we are dropping this person off our team because they're not delivering. And just be strict with yourself. Before you can project that strictness to others, be strict with yourself. When you're strict with yourself, you'll find yourself keeping time easily. You'll find yourself achieving your goals much easier. And even when you do have a problem, it is then genuine. When you're stuck, it isn't genuine. And you're able to raise your hand and say, hey, I need this, I need that. Can I get help with that and the other? And people, because they already know that, hey, this person always pulls their weight properly. They always, do their work well. Then it's almost not a problem for them to help you. Rather than when people just know, they might not tell you to your face, but they just know, this person is normally, they're a bit lax in how they do their work. They're a bit, everything of that is slapdash. They're not energetic. They're lackadaisical, So it is important to embrace a good work ethic, because then it's also an investment into your time, into yourself. It is an investment into your brand. It is an investment into even your legacy. Right now you're maybe 19 years old, like I was back then. You're 40, but when people think about you, they're like, so and so is just perfect to work with. Just know you're in good hands when you're dealing with them and all that. So yeah, I just want to urge you, as you're embarking on your career or continuing in your career, or thinking of changing your career, or wondering what career to go into, it's just that to urge you to make sure that a good work ethic, high integrity, those are your companions always. And of course, discipline. Discipline is what will keep you for the days when things are not glamorous or glorious. We've spoken to, or rather we've heard of celebrities speaking, and they say that even, no matter how glamorous their careers are, they also have very boring days. They have very meh days where they're wondering, is this it? But, when they look at the big picture, they realize there's a lot to do. There's much to be gained, and discipline is what keeps them through the days when they're feeling like, I don't want to wake up, I don't want to do this, and I'm thinking even of all the athletes. There's a gentleman who rides with the Tour de France. So they do the bicycle competition. It's a very big deal. It's so it happens in France mainly. And he says that for him, even on Christmas Day, he'll still go out and, ride on his bicycle. Like after the Christmas lunch with the family, he's going out on his bicycle. And that's high levels of discipline that even I aspire to. So I'm not speaking to you as a person who's made it. I'm speaking as a person who's also aspiring to make it. And every day should be a day to improve ourselves. Every day should be a day to do, better than we did yesterday. And every day is a day to basically answer to ourselves, answer to the person in the mirror. Make yourself proud. Make yourself proud, no matter what your career is, no matter what your chosen path in life is. When you embrace discipline, when you embrace high integrity, when you walk around fearlessly, and you also walk around proud of yourself, which is very important, because all these things start here and then they go outside. I think something else I can say about integrity is doing what you said you'll do when you said you'll do, rather than doing it when you are under pressure. A lot of us say, on our cover letters, works well under pressure, and we think that means that it's a pressure of doing things last minute. No. It's supposed to be like you manage yourself. So if you're supposed to be, doing activity A, you do it at the time you're supposed to do it. If you're a student, read for your exams all through, keep on accumulating the knowledge all through the semester or through the term. So then you're not caught up with 2 days before an exam to try and cram knowledge for, 17 weeks, so to speak. And if you're working at a job, then you're not struggling to finish, your activities or your tasks like just before they're due or literally when they're due or even overdue, because then this also spills over into your clients' expectations, When you're employed at a firm, that firm serves clients. When you're self-employed, you're also serving clients. So if you're self-employed and you tell the client, I'll do for you these graphics and they'll be ready in 2 days. And then the second day, third day, still not ready, and you're making excuses here and there, that shows a lack of, work ethic and integrity, a lack of discipline as well. So these things just touch on very many facets of our lives. And I think a lot of times why people still get away with this lack of discipline, lack of integrity, is because they hardly hurt. They hardly hit where it hurts. And maybe if there was proper punishment for that, like you lose your income, like for a student, you're losing grades. So that's enough punishment, or rather it's enough of a threat to make you want to do better. But for most people, once they start working, they sort of quickly figure out that I can always tell the client, can you please extend this deadline? Can we, give me a week more? And yet you don't need to tell the client 2 days only. So as a business owner, you also now then lose trust. People stop trusting you and they don't want to do business with you. They don't want to bring clients to you. They don't want to come back to you themselves. As an employee, then even the heads of the departments can just tell that, this one is not able to pull their weight properly. And, these things just go, they're demerits to you. They're demerits to you as an employee. They're demerits to you as a student, demerits to you as a business owner, demerits to you as a boss. If you're a boss and you're not doing what you said you'll do, they are all demerits. When you just lack that thing of doing what you said you'll do, even if you promised a bonus and that's not happening, find a way to make it happen in the soonest way possible, soonest time possible, so then everybody can trust you. Because again, at the end of the day, everything we do here, we are trusting. Everything that we do in the world is based on trust. You trust the pilot to get you to your destination. You trust the matatu driver to get you to Tao. We all trust that the chef in the restaurant is going to bring the salmon that we ordered for, or the samosa that we ordered for. So if you're not trusting in each other, if you're not trustful of each other, then really where are we going? So you trust that you'll be paid your salary, and the person paying you trusts that you'll do your job. The student trusts that the exams will come and they won't be too hard, but also the examiner trusts that you have read throughout the semester or through the term. So, when we're putting ourselves together and disciplining ourselves to attain all these things, because there's also an element of trust, I trust that if I work hard, I'll get my reward, that I'll get the grades that I worked for, So how about you also trust yourself, put yourself under some discipline so that you can also be trustful of yourself that, there's a project I need to finish, and I trust that in the 2 months that is allocated, I'll be done, and I'll be more than done. So I just want to urge you to know that there's people waiting on the other end of your discipline. There are people waiting on the other end of your work ethic. There are people waiting on the other end of your integrity. And whatever they're waiting for, whatever you produce could affect them positively or negatively. And also just consider yourself as a person of great impact in society, no matter what it is you're doing, no matter where you're placed, no matter your station or standard or status. You're impactful. Your input is impactful, and don't you one time think that it's not important, and don't succumb to poor ethic, poor discipline, poor integrity just because you think you don't matter or that no one will notice. It is all noticed. Somehow it is all noticed, and when the balances come to happen, you want to be on the right side of history. So that's what I had to share today. About embracing work ethic, high integrity, and of course coupling it with discipline here on Career Cruise. we'll have many more discussions, and I hope to hear from you. I mean, you can share your own stories with me. The times when maybe you failed because you didn't have discipline, the times when you're caught for not having high integrity, and things like that. So let's have a discussion. Feel free to, talk to me. I want to hear from you also, so then we can all learn from each other and grow together. Thank you for coming to the Career Cruise. Until next time, bye-bye.